Alright guys, Anderson talks today about Sam Allardyce. He has landed himself in a load of hot water, and what he has done could cost him his post as England manager after barely 3 months into his reign. Getting into what Mr. Allardyce has actually done and what he said, he, in the presence of his agent, his financial advisor, and a couple of undies, some undercover reporters, and in 2 separate meetings they discussed third-party ownership and ways of getting around it. They talked about Roy Hodgson, Gary Neville, the FA, which has put him in a world of trouble because, if you don't know, third-party ownership is illegal in the UK. It's also illegal in most European countries because FIFA, one of the only good things that they've done, is actually ban it because Michel Platini, the former president, actually said that it's a form of slavery, which I can understand, because an agent is profiting off a footballer who has to work for them by force. And with what Big Sam has been saying, it could be suggested that he kind of sees third-party ownership as a way of just getting more money. He's been quoted saying things like there are ways of getting around the rules, and that he knows a few agents that get away with doing this kind of stuff all the time. And also he's reportedly struck a deal with Far East investors that's worth £400,000, just to speak and give advice on how not to get in trouble doing this mischievous act. He also began mocking the voice of Roy Hodgson. You know how he speaks. It's not cute, it's not nice. And he also questioned Gary Neville's involvement in the England squad. I'm not going to say what he said. If you want to read it, I'll put a link to a transcript in the description. And finally, what's probably landed him in the most trouble is criticising the FA of building the new Wembley Stadium. And it's the biggest issue because the FA, the people at the top are his bosses. So with all these things put together, it's now reported that Sam Allardyce is looking likely to lose his job. Which in my opinion, I think is just the wrong decision. Because it's not even the first time that an England manager has put himself in hot water by saying something that's ridiculous online. You remember Roy Hodgson, he cracked that monkey joke, the space monkey, Andros Towns and all of that. Even though he wasn't offended, some people twisted it up and it got Roy Hodgson in a little bit of bother. Remember that video that also leaked that he said that Rio Ferdinand was finished? That was supposed to be a private conversation. It's so long. But the point stands that Roy Hodgson kept his job for 4 years. And we know how trash he was, and Big Sam's only been in the job for just about 3 months. Another reason why it would not be a good idea to sack him is, who is there to replace him? Remember, Steve Bruce was the only other person that looked likely to get the job, and I'm sorry, Steve Bruce is trash. There was also Eddie Howe, but he seems too comfortable at Bournemouth and he's just not ready yet in my opinion. There's Laurent Blanc, but we've seen what international managers have done in the past. So it's really a call on the FA. If they want to sack him, they better have somebody else lined up and ready to take control. Because England have to announce a squad in October because they got games, World Cup qualifiers. So to me, Big Sam keeping his job makes the most sense. Even though what he done was naive, silly, it's human error at the end of the day. We need to just give him a chance and make sure he just doesn't mess up again. If there needs to be one thing in international management, it needs to be stability. Because you've seen all the big national sides, they keep their managers for long periods of time. You see Del Bosque, you see Didier Deschamps, you see Joachim Low. One thing in common is stability, and if England want to be successful, they need to get their manager right. Like, share, subscribe, and have a nice day.